It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hey, Ernie Johnson here, and I'm joined by Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. And Brooklyn is where we'll be going just moments from now, as the Nets will be going up against the Washington Wizards. Looking at the Wizards, 5-5 over their last 10 games, but they're not satisfied with 500 ball, looking to tack one onto the win tally tonight. Guys, it might have taken some time for him to adjust to the NBA, but D'Angelo Russell becoming a force in the league. What do you think finally clicked for him, Shaq?
Well, one, he's getting the ball, and two, he was given more freedom and control on offense, and he's making more measured decisions on offense. He's not as sporadic as he used to be.
Learning how to say no. You know, being a point guard, you got to say no to some of the best players in the world. I can't get you the ball right now. And he's getting comfortable creating for others.
Thank you for joining us. We go courtside now. Kevin Harlan has the call.
.2K Sports checks in with our loyal viewers with a broadcast from Brooklyn, the home of the Nets, Barclays Center. There's no better time of year than the holidays for NBA basketball on 2K Sports. Welcome, everyone. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Doris Burke and Greg Anthony. We'll be catching up in a bit from our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. Back to the road tomorrow as this is the final game of the Nets homestand. Things have really gone south on them. Over the course of the last 7 games, they've gone 1-6.
Yeah, and guys, it's difficult with the job that's ahead of them. Anytime a team gets into a funk like the one they're in, getting out of it is really difficult. They seem to be a little bit scattered to me here of late, and I like to see them just come up with a definite plan and stick to that script.
Nets on defense. Outplayed in the previous game on their schedule, losing to Sacramento.
Yeah, their last outing was a rough one. Have to be careful of falling in love with that three.
Right, exactly, Greg. When the shots from the perimeter are not falling, I think you've got to go take it inside. It's as simple as that. They never altered their game plan, and it resulted in a loss.
And now Washington's starting group. A great scoring pair of wings. Beal the 2, Porter the 3. Morris and Gortat together down low. And it's Wall in at the point guard. A nice shot by Lynn. About halfway into the season, Doris, teams are already separating themselves from the pack. What are some of the elements you are looking for right now as you take a look at those top teams and trying to figure out a championship contender?
So you know that line, it's about the economy, stupid. It's about the players, right? You got to have players. You got to have stars. The contending teams always have at least 2 or 3 stars. So let's begin there. The other part is you've got to have the right role players around the stars. Think about the Draymond Greens. Think about the Kevin Loves. Guys in those positions that are in support of maybe the guys who have the ball in their hands. Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James. There's got to be an unselfishness. professionalism, a commitment, all the things that make championships possible on any number of levels.
And Okafor with the block. And out of bounds as Brooklyn gains possession. The Nets have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Pick by Okafor. Russell kicks to Okafor. And here's the fast break. Beal leading the way. Some solid defense there from Lynn.
Boy, not enough spring in his step on the way to the cup. He actually short arms that layup.
And the whistle blows. It's going to be on John Wall. That's his first foul.
And really, these are some of the toughest calls an official has to make.
Screen by Russell. Lynn the pass to Crab. Back to Lynn. He kicks it to Crab. 6 to shoot. Over Porter.
Well, the rangy Porter, right? Making his presence felt defensively.
And again, no good by Brooklyn. Wall's shot is good.
And setting the tone early with a strong move to the rack.
Boy, seizing control right away. Send a message on that possession.
Now here's Lynn. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Sacramento.
And his court vision was extraordinary, too. Let's not forget that. He was flawless passing the ball.
Russell from long range sinks the triple. Russell's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. The Wizards have gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. Porter kicks to Beal. Morris with a screen on Russell. Beal drives in. Beal with another miss.
Well, it's not the defense that caused that miss. That one's all on him.
And our Hall of Famer David Aldridge had a chance to speak with Scott Brooks. David?
Well, Kevin, I asked him what the strategy was offensively, and he said, look, we want to avoid having to take so many outside shots. They want to exploit what he described as a mismatch inside. He said, we have the talent down low to make things very difficult on those guys, and we're going to use it. Kevin?
All right, thank you, David. The Nets with the lead. Picked by Mozgov. Lynn from long range. Tries again. He can't get that one to fall. Now Washington takes it the other way. They traveled to Brooklyn last time they faced the Nets, and they came away with a win.
Their last game against this squad, they won out thanks to some big contributions from the bench.
Yeah, that second unit was fantastic in the last meeting. They infused a ton of energy and, somewhat surprisingly, a lot of points production.
There's the lob to Gortat. Takes the alley-oop pass and dunks it down.
Oh, just leave it at the rim. Gortat will do the rest.
Great way to see the alley-oop. That replay courtesy of Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Picked by Okafor. Lynn dishes to Okafor. Beyond the arc. And again, it's the Nets missing. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Jahlil Okafor. That is his first foul of the game. Washington leading now by 3. Here is Wall. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against New Orleans.
Still unable to connect this quarter. Really looks frustrated. Just needs to try and stay calm.
Grab the pass to Mozgov. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
It's going to be very hard to throw Mozgov off when he gets that close to the basket. Doesn't matter if you're right in his grill.
And the Nets adding their own G League affiliate, the Long Island Nets.
Yeah, and the Nets franchise originally, remember, based in Long Island. So nice to have that homecoming. And, of course, with young talent development, so critical for this Nets organization. Having that minor league team in close proximity, very valuable.
Crab, good. The Wizards have gone 6 of 13 from the field, just under the 50% mark. Here's Wall. It's good from about 19 feet. Wall's got his second bucket tonight.
And this is the ongoing development of John Wall, hitting that jumper with consistency.
Lynn kicks to Crab. Here's Mozgov. Lets it go. Goes back up. And that one's good. His second basket of 4, shooting 50%.
Yeah, when you let Mozgov get planted on your end, he's very hard to move. Great play from him on the second effort.
Mozgov against Gortat. Wall off the left rim and out. Brooklyn's gone just 1 of 4 from three-point range here in the first. And it's Russell missing. The Wizards with the lead. Here's Porter. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Guys, there's no doubt last year was a breakout year for Otto Porter. I mean, he set career highs almost across the board. Points, rebounds, and so on. This guy went from being a role player to a major part of the offense.
Free throw good, Porter. And for Porter and Doris, you've always said that he always had the tools.
No doubt. I mean, with Porter's size and ability to shoot the basketball, I think he's going to be a player who has a long career. Is it a complimentary role? Probably. But because he can catch and shoot, there's always value.
A platoon swap here for Brooklyn. Good on both.
I think the thing I like best about Otto Porter, his versatility and long arms, because it allows him to impact the game in so many ways.
Here's LeVert. 9 points last game. It's stolen by Mahinmi. Oh, and a fast break for the Wizards. It's Meeks outside. The putback. Allen with the rebound. Nets trail by 3. And it's Carroll in the corner. Offensive rebound. Here's Hollis Jefferson, and the rejection by Mahinmi.
And this is what you like about Jan Mahinmi defensively. He might not be the highest flyer, but big-time enforcer.
Here's Frazier. The rebound by the Nets. Carroll with it. Taking a look at his numbers, he averages about 7 points a game. Here's LeVert. Back to Carroll. Over Porter. And Carroll gets it to go. Carroll's got his first 2 points of the night.
You can see how hard Damari is to guard. I mean, this guy, even with a hand in his face, is able to make tough shots.
Meeks on the wing. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against New Orleans. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Now, I think everyone knows when Mahinmi gets the ball inside, often the better choice is to foul him, and we'll see if he can make them pay for that. You know, I think it's interesting. When you talk about being consistent, Jan Mahinmi is a great example. This guy's a solid center who will defend and board for you. So important.
Free throw good from Mahinmi. And Doris, Mahinmi is not a flashy player by any means.
Right. Jan is a guy who doesn't need to play with flash in order to impact a game. He does a terrific job filling up space on the offensive end when teams collapse off him. And this guy's got a great career field goal percentage because he takes only the shots he knows he can make.
Here's Dinwiddie. 11 points for...
Jefferson doesn't mind showing out a little bit. What a sensational leaper.
Washington's gone 0-3 from three-point land. Nothing yet going outside. Wizards passing it around. Outside, Scott kicks it to Frazier. Dishes to Oubre. Pass to Meeks. Just 5 to shoot. There's the screen. Takes a 3. Shot by Frazier, no good. Brooklyn trailing. Carroll dishes to Allen. And the pass to Dinwiddie. And that misses. That would have put him up.
And as he squares up for mid-range, the defender right in his face.
Well, classic example of crowding the shooter, not letting him get comfortable in the mid-range. Boy, that's high-impact defense in the lane, standing tall to deny the easy bucket.
Drains it from beyond the arc.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Here is Frazier following the three-pointer by Brooklyn. And there's the feed to Oubre. And here we go. Brooklyn fast break. They get the rebound. Hollis Jefferson passes to Carroll. And another shot in the corner. Hollis Jefferson. Now here's Carroll. Defense is right there. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot two right here.
Well, don't you love the nickname, the Junkyard Dog? DeMarre Carroll, this guy has established himself over the last handful of seasons as a starting caliber forward.
Now, gentlemen, two shots. Loose shots.
That free throw, no good. And Carroll slowed somewhat by knee surgery a couple seasons ago.
Yeah, I think he's trying to make his way back into form. One of those tone setter guys. You know the effort will be there every time he takes the floor.
And the second free throw, good.
Now, did you know, Kevin, that they call DeMarre Carroll the swag daddy because he always dresses to impress? I hear the wardrobe is unreal.
Meeks on the wing. Pass to Oubre. Frazier outside. There's the pick. And Allen with the block. And here we go. Brooklyn fast break. Throws it up high. Trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. Here's Oubre. And again, Washington no good. Nets leading by 3. It's Carroll on the wing. Here's Dinwiddie. Frazier covering. In the corner, Hollis Jefferson. That one off the back iron and out.
Well, there's no consistency from the field in this quarter. We'll see if he can get his shot going.
And Meeks kicks to Oubre. Meeks on the wing. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. No good from 11 feet.
I tell you what, the defense should send Christmas cards for that miss.
Here's Dinwiddie. Now in the scoring column with that deuce. 1 for 2 this game.
Oh, the turnaround jumper. That was just beautiful.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Deep 2 from Carroll. Again, the Nets for 2.
Oh, great ball movement there.
Wizards trail by 7. Frazier kicks to Scott. Now here's Oubre. Guarded closely. On the wing, Scott. To the paint. And he was camped in the lane there, and he gets the 3-second call. Nets leading by 7. Here's Dinwiddie. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game. 5 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Frazier dishes to Mahinmi. Got a piece of it.
Wow, fantastic to see Hollis Jefferson hit it twice on the pipes. Extends out and sends it back.
He feeds it to Dinwiddie. With 1 on the clock. Got it off in time, but it's no good. And so it's the Brooklyn Nets heading to the bench with a 7-point lead as we wrap up the quarter. And they've done a phenomenal job down low. So many of their points coming right at the rim. We've got more in store for you right after this. And Jeremy Lin, a player who's come a long way in his time in this league, from going undrafted out of Harvard to where he is now. He says he remains very grateful.
I wasn't sure, if my career would ever pan out the way I was hoping for, or if I would be able to stay in the NBA. And so for me to be here playing, to be able to know I'm going to play in the game, in an NBA game, it's just, it's pretty cool.
Well, in a game filled with some pretty big egos, there are also guys like that who are living the dream in their own very grateful way. Lynn has certainly seen the highs and the lows.
And Kevin, not everyone's a superstar and certain of their future. Sometimes you get to be a superstar for a brief moment in time, but this game has a way of humbling people, even those who started out humble, like Lynn.
And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And from Brooklyn guys, what jumps out to you stat-wise?
Tough defense throughout that first period, and it's really paying dividends.
Well, I think there's a level of physicality with them right now, and not allowing the opponent to feel comfortable getting into their heads just a bit.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, as the second quarter gets going. And Brooklyn, looking who they've got. LeVert and Carroll are the wingmen. Allen is out there with Hollis Jefferson. And it's Dinwiddie in at the point. Shot clock at 5. Frazier. That's tipped, and they'll keep possession. Mahimi's shot is good. Here's Carroll. To the wing on the left. Allen against Mahimi. The Nets working the ball around now. Hollis Jefferson can't hit.
And even without that three ball dropping for him, the defense should have done more on that last play.
And last season, I think we saw just what could be a preview of what the Washington Wizards can be moving forward, right? They return to the second round of the playoffs. They have a clear core and strength to build around for the future.
Frazier kicks to Scott. His first shot coming late. Allen with the rebound.
And as he squares up for mid-range, the defender right in his face.
Well, classic example of crowding the shooter, not letting him get comfortable in the mid-range.
They get it back. Passes it to Hollis Jefferson. Off target there. That would have pushed the lead to double digits.
Boy, what a tough night. Imagine what their lead would be if he were having a better night from the field.
Here's Meeks. Rebounded by the Nets. Up next for them is the Pacers in Indianapolis. They hit the road with that, the first of a 5-game run. Hollis Jefferson can't hit.
Boy, a kick-out's probably a better option when the defense is swarming around like that.
Out of bounds. Wizards ball as Washington keeps possession. And a new group out there on the floor for the Nets. And a new group getting ready for the Wizards. Gortat's checked in for Mahinmi. Markieff Morris comes in for Mike Scott. Beals checked in for Meeks. And John Wall subbed in for Tim Frazier. Now here's Wall. And you know the points will always be there for him. He's averaging just a shade under 20 points a game right now. Grab the pass to Russell. There's the basket and make it a double-digit lead. Russell's got 5 now.
And sliding inside, under control, Russell still just scratching the surface of his full potential.
So timeout called here, the first for Washington. Defeated by the Pelicans in their last game, they'll try to put that one behind them.
You know what? That's a game where the coach might just want to burn the video, because there's no question they're a better team than what we saw, but they got crushed on that night.
They slept-walked through that entire effort. Way too much talent on the roster for them to let that happen.
Otto Porter Jr., he's checked in for Oubre. And Beal kicks to Morris. The second chance effort. Okafor grabs the miss. Okafor's got his 3rd rebound tonight.
A slight rebound advantage for them. One more column in their favor, and it's all adding up.
And for D'Angelo Russell, the former number 2 overall pick in 2015 out of Ohio State. Greg, in your opinion, what makes him so special as a prospect?
I think it's all about his skill level. I mean, the league loves players who can handle, pass, and shoot. And he can do all 3 at an elite level. And he's not just a stationary shooter. He can hit pull-ups, a very good in-between game as well. Let's just see if he can continue his maturation process.
And he knocks down the first one.
Yeah, and with this increased aggressiveness offensively, Russell's shooting more and more free throws.
And so he makes both from the line.
And a big move for D'Angelo Russell this past offseason. Traded from the Lakers to Brooklyn. Now one of the major building blocks of this team that has embraced him wholeheartedly.
Now here's Wall. He dishes it to Morris. 4 on the shot clock. Excellent D there from Okafor.
Affecting the shot in a big way there. Excellent defense.
Well, you talk about getting into the space of the shooter. This is how you defend the paint.
And with the draft spot the Lakers had and the spotted history with D'Angelo Russell, you know, Greg, it wasn't a huge shock to see him move.
You know, it just seemed to me that Russell wasn't the right fit for what LA wanted to do. Still a very young and talented player who has a chance to kind of reinvent himself here in New York. He's shown a bit more maturity since that trade and since joining this team.
Shooting one.
Doris is a former guard. You know how much energy it takes to run a team and think a game as well as score. I mean, there's a lot on your plate at that position. What backcourt guys get an advantage of playing with a consistently high motor?
Well, Russell Westbrook, in addition to his ferocity, seems to be able to sustain his level of energy across a 48-minute game. I feel like the guy never gets a rest, so he's one high motor guy. I'll tell you a guy who doesn't do it the same way, but still it's required that he has a level of endurance that maybe would shock people, is James Harden. Like, the guy has the basketball in his hands. He's #1 priority in terms of the defensive scout. So Russell Westbrook and James Harden, though they go about the job differently, both are phenomenal at having great endurance and having the ball so much.
And that's the battle they haven't been winning today. Their work on the glass has been porous, and that's got to change.
Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. Okafor kicks to Lin. Okafor with a screen on Wall. Here's Lin. No stopping him there. Jams it in as he's fouled. Chance now for a three-point play. That's on Marcin Gortat.
Well, it seems like it's been a while since the breakthrough of Lin's sanity, but Jeremy Lin is still breaking down walls for Asian and Asian American athletes. This guy has shattered stereotypes and inspired many to follow in his path.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
That one misses for Lin. And Doris, Jeremy Lin has been honest. In the past, he says that some have doubted him.
And I think that's always been the case for Jeremy Lin. Go back to his high school days. For Palo Alto High School, he wins a California State title. He's first-team All-State, and yet he did not have a ton of Division I scholarship offers. It's surprising when you think about the level of competition he faced as a young basketball player.
Here's Wall. Outside, Porter. Feeds to Beal. Gortat with a screen on Russell. And Beal kicks to Porter. Just 5 on the clock. Beal dishes to Morris. It's Gortat with the drive, and it's Gortat finishing it off.
Yeah, turn the lights out when Gortat heads to the rim with that kind of authority. He's taking no prisoners.
Now Russell. He had an 18-point outing in the last game against Sacramento. Here's Mozgov. Rebounded by the Wizards. Porter's got 3 rebounds now in this one. The dish to Beal. Over Russell. It'll go, and the Nets lead is cut down to just 8 points with the bucket from Beal.
That's something he can do all night, gentlemen. Beal is deadly spotting up.
Pick by Okafor. It's Russell with the drive. Now here's Crabbe. Guarded by Porter. Crabbe, good.
And that's what the pump fake's there for. Get your man off his feet and drive right around him.
Washington calls timeout. And the Nets throwing big money at restricted free agents in recent years, trying to add talent any way they can.
Well, and sometimes being willing to overpay if they have to. With no high draft picks walking through that door, they've got to exploit every opportunity to improve this roster.
Here's Wall. Gortat with a screen on Lynn. And Wall kicks to Gortat. Excellent D there from Mozgov.
Allowing no space for the shooter to get comfortable. Just terrific defense.
Well, we call that crowding the shooter, right? You don't give up an inch. It's just perfect defense.
Wizards trail by 12. And here's Wall. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Gentlemen.
I think everyone can now agree that John Wall is one of the better point guards in the NBA.
No doubt. At this point, when you factor in his production, he's got to be in the top 5, if not top 3 guards in the league. One of the better passers we have as well. It's just hard to find guards that can create so easily the way Wall can.
2.
And that one misses. Doris, you've interviewed so many great players and coaches. What are some of the key personality traits that stars seem to share?
Yeah, I would say it's probably like somebody who's either a lawyer or a doctor, right? They're always A-type personalities. They're competitive. They're perfectionists. They have great capacity for work. I don't think you make it to the NBA unless you're incredibly committed.
Well said.
You know, I think we can get intoxicated with the offensive end where John Wall is just so stellar at the point guard position. But this guy's athleticism allows him to be disruptive on the defensive end. He does a great job creating turnovers.
Shot clock at 6. Crabbe, that's for 2. Another shot. Here's Mozgov. That shot off. Gortat with the defensive effort. Porter kicks to Wall. There's a screen by Gortat. There's the lob to Gortat. Okafor with the steal. Lynn the pass to Russell. Back to Lynn. And that one, good. Lynn's got the lead up to 13 now for the Nets. And Doris, the turnovers you mentioned that Wall creates that are so valuable, he'll knock a ball loose and convert on the other end.
Well, he can do so many things on the defensive end, right, Kev? The steals have always been there. He's one of the best shot blockers at the point guard position because of his athleticism and his ability to come up with those chase down blocks with the speed and wingspan. Truly a thing of beauty.
There's a screen by Gortat. Just 5 to shoot. That's good, and it's his 4th basket of the game. He's a strong 4 for 6.
I'll tell you, he's been one area they haven't had to worry about tonight. He's been scoring at will.
Pick by Okafor. Lynn dishes to Russell. To the wing on the left. Okafor. Good, and it's Russell picking up the assist. Okafor's got his first basket.
And just showing great vision there. Russell surveys the floor and whips it to the open man.
And Wall kicks to Beal. Nice ball movement by Washington. Wall with it, and it's Lynn picking him up. Morris, no good.
I'll tell you, his inconsistency not helping their cause at all.
Crabbe kicks to Russell. Back to Crabbe. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here.
Well, when you look at this Washington team, the strength clearly lies in that backcourt. Wall and Beal, arguably the best backcourt in this league. They are the engine that motors this team with their scoring and playmaking.
It's his first trip to the line.
And with numbers like this, how about 87% on the year? He's been somebody they love having at the line.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
That free throw, no good. This Washington backcourt of Wall and Beal. Last season, Greg, they were able to both stay healthy, and Wizards fans finally saw just how potent they both could be.
And remember all those rumors how these two couldn't coexist? Well, they sure liked existing together last season. I mean, they really carried this group when it mattered, and both just explosive players who are not only leaders, but they're terrific two-way players for this franchise.
As we've gotten closer to halftime, their style has become more and more physical.
Time called here. The Wizards decide to talk it over.
Yeah, the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they got to talk about.
Well, I think they've got to ramp up the pressure. There's no excuse for letting them score at will in the paint. Make them feel you.
Andre Hollis-Jefferson, he's checked in for Crab. A chance here to assess what parts of the floor the attempts have been coming from as we look at the shot chart for the Wizards.
And a shot they haven't been looking for very much is that corner three. And when they have, he's been quick to kind of close out and deny it, and they've had to get their points from elsewhere.
Now here's Frazier. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Out left to the wing. Back to Meeks. He kicks to Frazier. 6 on the shot clock. Mahinmi, a screen on Allen. Here's Frazier. Hollis-Jefferson with the rebound. Hollis-Jefferson's got 4 rebounds now tonight.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
Of course, I didn't know this. You grew up the youngest of 8 children. In what way, if any, did that help you develop the competitive edge you've been known for throughout your terrific career?
You know, I had 4 older brothers, and we played sports my entire life. I picked up the game of basketball at 7, and if you didn't have a little toughness with 4 brothers trying to compete against them, you were going to be in some trouble. So this game has been absolutely great to me.
And I'm sure you remember the first time you picked up a basketball and dribbled a basketball.
No question about it, Kevin. 7 years old, running through some hedges like I was coming out of a locker room. It was special.
The first free throw is good.
And, of course, for the Nets, I mean, they won't control their own first-round pick until 2019. There's going to be some losing along the way with not much reward.
And good on the second, so he makes them both. And Greg, the Nets trading away the better part of a decade worth of draft picks when they went all in back in 2013 and 2014.
Yeah, going for vets like Darren Williams and Gerald Wallace, Paul Pierce, and of course KG. But unfortunately, all past their prime. That team only able to get to the second round, and boy, what a heavy price to pay for so little success in the postseason.
Here's Dinwiddie. 16-point lead, the largest margin in the game. Here's LeVert. He's guarded by Meeks. Inside, and the rejection by Mahinmi. And here's the fast break. Lets the 3 fly. Here's Scott, and there's 2 points. Working on the glass, paying off that time. Scott's got his first basket of the night. There's a minute left in the first half. There's a good screen. In the corner, Hollis-Jefferson takes the 3. Rebound, Washington. Mahinmi's got rebound number 8 now on the night. It's stolen by Carroll. Hollis Jefferson passes to Allen. And it's Allen slamming it down.
Well, that's about court awareness. Hollis Jefferson playing very well within the confines of this offense.
Wizards trail by 16. Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Kicks it to Scott. Dishes to Frazier. Nice ball movement by Washington. And it's Meeks atop the key. Shot clock at 3. Washington gets it back. Here's Mahimi. Well, it was only a matter of time, but they finally get the bucket.
Well, if you use your strength and your power and a little bit of relentlessness, as John Mahimi does, he cleans up.
LeVert, no good from the wing. And so it's Brooklyn with a 14-point lead as we bring the quarter to a close. They've been putting on a clinic in the paint. Shots are falling with regularity, and they are pounding it down low. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here. Got Shaq, got Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you back to the halftime show on 2K Sports. It's Brooklyn out in front at the half. They lead by 14. Kenny, what did you see from them?
What a brilliant, unselfish half of basketball they just played. Their ball movement was absolutely impeccable. All in all, just beautiful basketball to watch.
Shaq, what was your takeaway on Washington?
Well, first of all, as cold as they've been from the floor, I can't say I'm surprised by the score. You cannot shoot the ball that poorly and expect to be in the game, Ernie. They need better ball movement. If their offense stays this stagnant, they could forget about a comeback.
And that is just about going to wrap it up as the second half is moments away. Down to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the crew.
Welcome back as we get a beautiful aerial view of the Williamsburg Bridge connecting Manhattan and Brooklyn. And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. Jeremy Lin really making a difference here.
And I loved in that first half that they were patient, looked for good shots, and knocked them down.
You know, I think, Greg, they never settled for the first look. It was always about, let's get the best shot possible, really good judgment on the offensive end.
And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. Second half is underway, and here's who Scott Brooks has got on the floor. Morris and Gortat together down low. Beal and Porter at the 2 and the 3, and it's Wall in at the 1. Brooklyn leading by 14. Lin kicks to Okafor. Back to Lin. Now here's Crabb. He's covered closely. Down to 5 on the shot clock. 7-foot shot. 7-foot shot. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Okafor's got it going here in the start of the second half. The first points in the third quarter for the Nets. To the paint. And then Porter with the jam.
Now we come to expect John Wall will make the right play, creates yet another open look.
And that replay sponsored by Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment, giving us an excellent perspective on the play. There's Crabb with the 3, and that one is off. And Washington the other way now. They'll be hosting Orlando for the next one. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again.
Listen, this guy's got the green light at any time, but Beal with the nice look to set up the open shot.
Russell with it. He's got 7. Outside, Lin. Here's the screen. Out to Russell for 3. The basket good off the assist from Lin. 10 points for D'Angelo Russell.
I think, you know, you look back on some of the point guards who have become head coaches in the NBA. Kenny Atkinson of the Nets, one of those guys, led the University of Richmond to the Sweet 16 back in 1988.
Nets leading by 15. Outside, Lynn pass to Crab. Wants to get it to Lynn and does. Mozgov wide open. He fires. And again, it's Brooklyn converting.
They're doing work here in the second half. 3 or 4 to start.
Lynn against Wall. To the inside. And Okafor with the block. Russell with a wide open look. Again, Russell missing. Wizards trail by 17. Outside, Wall. There's the pick. The putback. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points.
That's called battling your way for the second chance opportunity. Gortat is a real handful.
Wall against Land. Outside, Russell. And he banks in the layup. Russell's got 5 points now in the quarter.
And some guys just have a nose for scoring, and this one couldn't have been any easier.
Well, really good awareness by the scorer. You're seeing an opening in the defense and exploiting it beautifully.
Time called here. The Wizards decide to talk it over.
And going into last season, Jeremy Lin signed with the Nets for that 3-year deal and close to $36 million, and excited to make his return to really the birthplace of Linsanity. Unfortunately, the hamstring injuries cost him a huge chunk of that season.
Nets leading by 17. Looking to get it going. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. And Greg, Jeremy Lin described last season as a year of my prime down the drain. I mean, it had to be demoralizing.
Yeah, especially after bouncing around for a few years. He thought he'd found a chance to start and a chance to lead, and instead he found himself in dress casual on the bench.
He's off on the first. Last season, the Wizards having one of the best years in franchise history. No title for the team, but Doris, they did secure their first division title since 1979.
And if my math is correct, Kev, that was a 38-year drought they managed to end. But for this team, I think they know it's just the start, and they want to go even deeper in the playoffs this year.
And he's good on the second.
Well, guys, you think back to 2013 when the Nets pushed all their chips in for a title. When that collapsed, they had to embrace Plan B. So what do? They go into the Spurs organization, hire from that brain trust, and now are trying to build from the ground up.
Gortat, and 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. It's on Jahlil Okafor.
That's just excellent use of the pump fake from Gortat. You know, he's constantly working on selling whoever is checking him.
Two shots.
And the first one drops. And the new Nets leadership now thinking long term.
Right, Kev. I think that this is a team, an organization that wants high-character individuals. They're using words like consistency and sustainability. If you want the model, it's the Spurs' 2-decade playoff run. That's the goal for the Brooklyn Nets.
Both free throws good from Gortat. And throughout his career, Doris, Marcin Gortat, a player who you can always consider a double-double threat.
Right, he's a pro's pro. Marcin Gortat knows every night, you're going to get great effort from me. I'm going to battle on the glass. I'm going to do all the dirty work inside.
Now here's Crab. He's got 8, and that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. And now that we have a chance, let's show you the NBA's top thieves. This is the list of this month's steals leaders. Third is Markieff Morris.
Really been fantastic defensively this run for him. He's had more than his share of steals, and now he's looking to get more.
That's good from Crabbe. And one issue we saw with the Wizards last postseason, Doris, was their bench.
Right, a large part of that is the bench just didn't have any explosive scoring. On the season, their bench was bottom 3 in the league in group efficiency, and that's an area they greatly wanted to improve upon this year.
Both free throws good from Crabbe. Here's Wall. He has 5. Here's Beal. The pass to Gortat. To the inside. And Wall gets it to go in on the assist from Gortat. Wall's got his 3rd basket of the night right there. Nets leading by 16. Now Lynn. 10 points for him. Crabbe, that's for 2. And again, it's the Nets missing.
And that's really a function of the offense not working as it should.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's not how you capitalize on the offensive end. You simply have to be more patient.
Now here's Lynn. Following the miss by Otto Porter. Russell dishes to Lynn. Mozgov sets a screen for Lynn. Back to Russell. 6 to shoot. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Russell's got 7 points here in this quarter.
After taking some time to find his rhythm, he's been unstoppable since the break.
And Wall kicks to Beal. There's the pick. Morris a screen. The high post shot. And that one is good from Bradley Beal. Beal's got 7 points in the game.
You know, whenever Beal gets a little breathing room, he just knows how to make the defense pay.
Picked by Mozgov. Lynn the pass to Crabbe. The feed now to Okafor. Outside, Lynn. Hits it from 3-point range. He's got 13.
3-point shooting since the half has been about as good as you could ask for.
Lynn against Wall. Gortat with a screen on Lynn. There's the lob to Gortat. Mozgov with the steal. Okafor in the post, covered by Morris. And it's Okafor missing. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Jahlil Okafor. That's his 4th foul of the contest. And a new group in for the Nets. Allen's checked in for Mozgov. Damari Carroll comes in for Crabbe. LeVert's checked in for D'Angelo Russell. And Dinwiddie subbed in for Jeremy Lin. Now here's Frazier. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. The shot by Mahinmi, no good. Nets leading by 19. Goes up on the wing. Another miss by Okafor.
Well, I think the defense took that possession off. I'm pretty sure he won't miss next time.
Brooklyn's gone into the 3-point range 4 times since halftime and buried 2 of them. Basket good. And the Nets lead by 21. And so it's Washington with it. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Back to Scott. Nice ball movement by Washington. That shot wide open. Oubre's got himself on the board with 3 there.
But he's got NBA range. There's no doubt about that. Oubre with 3-and-D ability on the wing.
Pass to LeVert. He feeds it to Carroll. 5 on the clock. Okafor dishes to Allen. Shoots over Oubre. That misses off the backboard.
And why take that contested shot? I mean, make the extra pass.
You know, that's a head scratcher. When the defense is in your grill, move the ball. And I'll tell you, good work to pound it down low and finish in tight.
Here's Dinwiddie. He has 6. Passes it to Allen. And the rejection by Mahinmi. Pass to LeVert. Shoots over Meeks. A nice shot by LeVert. LeVert's got 5.
Well, Karis LeVert can fill it up from anywhere, but this guy is a terrific mid-range scorer.
Frazier kicks to Scott. Meek's on the wing. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Up off the screen, and he dunks it after the pick frees him up.
And ran his man straight into the screen and got a clear path to the bucket.
That is how it is done.
Great teamwork. That's something you develop by practicing it over and over again.
Here's Dinwiddie after the basket by Washington. Another one falls for Brooklyn.
Well, smart passing to set up the bucket. Sometimes I don't think DeMarre Carroll gets enough credit for his instincts as a passer.
Frazier kicks to Oubre. Outside, Scott. Over to the wing. Frazier outside. From deep. Another miss by Frazier. And it's Okafor off the drive. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
No question, he got bumped on that shot.
And he's got his first free throw of the game.
He's knocked down 3/4 of his foul shots this season, so he's right around 75%.
Two shots. Relax on the first.
And that one misses. And the Nets making a change here. Hollis Jefferson's checked in. He hits the second from the line. Wizards trail by 19. Frazier kicks to Oubre. Now, here's Scott. He's guarded closely. Shot clock at 5. Brooklyn with the rebound. Here's Dinwiddie. 8 points for him. The pass to Hollis Jefferson. Over to the wing. Here's LeVert. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Gentlemen.
And the youngster Karis LeVert, drafted 20th overall, Doris, back in 2016 out of Michigan.
Well, I think some people consider this a high-risk, high-reward pick. The reason, he dealt with stress fractures repeatedly in his left foot throughout his college days. But when this guy's healthy, man, whoo, can he shoot it. And at 6'7", look out.
Shooting 2, gentlemen.
And the first one drops.
To me, Karis LeVert has tons of upside. This is a 6'7" guard with an outstanding skill set.
And so he hits both. Wizards trail by 21. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Dinwiddie kicks to Carroll. Rebound by Mahinmi.
Yeah, good interior D there. Prevents the deuce.
Well, if he wasn't there, that shot's going in. Love the effort on the defensive end.
You know what? Tried to step in and cut him off, but just didn't get there quick enough.
.144 left in the third quarter. Here's Scott. Scott missing again. Brooklyn leading by 21. Carroll kicks to Dinwiddie. And here is Okafor. He's got 5. Oubre with the steal. Frazier outside. He dishes it to Scott. 1:12 left in the third quarter of the game. Shot clock at 5. The shot by Frazier, no good.
Boy, he hasn't given them much of anything tonight. He's got to look for his own shot a little less and keep the ball moving.
Down low, and it goes out of bounds. That one off Mahinmi. And a chance now to review the shot chart for the Nets.
And there isn't a whole lot of positives that you can take away from his performance from the mid-range game so far. A lot of chances have come up empty for him, but he seems intent on taking jumpers out there. Something's got to give.
Brooklyn's gone into the three-point range 4 times since halftime and buried 2 of them. Dinwiddie passes to LeVert. That one falls coming off Dinwiddie's feet. LeVert's got 9.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Nice ball movement by Washington. To end the run, and it's Frazier getting it to go. Brooklyn leading by 21. Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Here's Dinwiddie. Frazier covering. Pass to Hollis Jefferson. 6 on the shot clock. And it's Okafor missing. Oubre. No good. And so it's the Brooklyn Nets sitting on a 21-point lead to end the quarter. They have made it very tough to get a shot off against them. Their defense has been stifling. We'll get right back to the action when we return. And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. The Nets shooting at a decent 44% clip here. LeVert and Carroll are the wingmen. Hollis Jefferson is out there with Mozgov. And it's Dinwiddie in at the point. So that's the lineup for Brooklyn. Hollis Jefferson. A reverse. And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. And there's the call on Washington with the foul.
How about the toughness, Kevin, from Hollis Jefferson on the interior? Fantastic at using his length close to the rack to get that contact.
And Rondé Hollis Jefferson able to defend 1 through 4. Doris, where do you think he's most effective as a defender?
Well, Kevin, with his length and his quickness, he can really bother guards that are smaller than he is, which most often is going to be the case.
The first free throw is good.
And you'll hear some say the sleeper of that 2015 draft was Rondé Hollis Jefferson. I mean, a fractured ankle his rookie season limited him to just those 29 games. But when healthy, he's shown he can be a force defensively.
And the Nets making a change here. Lynn's checked in. The Wizards also changing it up. Markieff Morris is checked in for Mahinmi. Porter comes in for Oubre. And Bradley Beal subbed in for Jody Meeks.
One of the things you have to love, Kevin, about Hollis Jefferson is his energy. You know he's going to give you everything he's got on a night-by-night basis.
And Greg, what separates Hollis Jefferson, do you think, as an NBA defender?
You know, physicality. Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
That's a beautiful jam.
To me, Hollis Jefferson has tremendous length and someone who makes it very difficult to contest shots because of that length.
And Beal kicks to Wall. LeVert the pass to Lynn. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
And done a much better job from the line this half. They've gotten that percentage up over 80 for the game.
Doris, as always, this question about resting players. Fans pay hundreds of dollars for tickets and parking and everything else, expecting the healthy guys to play. Why shouldn't there be a requirement for them to suit up?
Well, again, you have Commissioner Adam Silver attempting to address this and making it known during the finals that there would be some limitations based on the ability to rest players, that there would be strong encouragement to rest players at home because your fans obviously have more of an opportunity to see them at home. Listen, Kevin, I think fans need to be able to see the stars. At the same time, it's a strenuous 82-game stretch. Have we addressed it in terms of lengthening the season and shortening the preseason? What I do like is that the NBA is aware that there is an issue, and they are working proactively to fix it.
As is their custom. They always do that.
Correct.
Looking at who's out there now for the Nets. Harris has checked in for Damari Carroll, and Stauskas subbed in for LeVert. No good on the second, so he hits 1 of 2.
Well, Kevin, how about the Harvard grad, Jeremy Lin? How far has this guy come from nearly out of the NBA at one point to viable NBA starter? Incredible.
Here's Wall. Offensive rebound. Mozgov with the block. Lin kicks to Harris. The basket good off the assist from Lin. Lin's got 5 assists in the game.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
The Wizards have gone 0 of 3 to start the fourth quarter. Passes it to Satoransky. Outside Porter. No one near Wall as he lets it go. Knocks down the 3 ball.
He knows that when he's hitting that three-pointer, defenders can't go under the screen anymore, and that makes a huge difference.
Here's Hollis Jefferson. And it's Harris off the drive. Feeds it to Stauskas. Down to 5 on the shot clock. They get it back. Mozgov got him with the pump fake, but couldn't finish. Washington's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Porter with it. Picked up by Harris. Porter passes to Satoransky. Lets it go from deep. Here's Smith. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. Doris, when you look at the NBA draft lottery, so many of the top guys coming out are one and dones. How is that, you think, affecting the way the NBA game is played and coached?
Well, obviously it can take time because the one and dones are typically 18, 19, or 20, somewhere in that age range. So you wonder about maturity. Their skill sets are probably going to be, a little bit slower to develop. It's enough of a concern that Commissioner Adam Silver has addressed it. Whether or not the player representation will allow that rule to be changed about the one and dones remains to be seen.
No good on that one. Whitehead's checked in for the Nets. And the second free throw, good. The Nets have gone 2 for 5 on field goal attempts in the fourth quarter. There's the dish to Mozgov. He kicks it to Stauskas. 6 to shoot. And they pick up 2.
And look at how quick he was to bite on the pump fake. Left his feet way too soon.
For Washington, they've gone 1 of 4 since the end of the third quarter. And Satoransky kicks to McCullough. The Wizards working the ball around now. There's the pick. Here's Wall. Mozgov with the block.
Well, the strength and the length of Mozgov make him such a force defensively. That led to that block.
And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. So there's a new procedure for choosing starters in the All-Star game, Doris. Fans account for 50% of the vote, as you know. Players, 25%. Media, 25%. What do you think of that? I
love that the fans have a vote. I would like to see the percentages changed in this way. I would like players, the peers, to have 50% weight. Give the media and fans 25% each. So just swap it so that the peers are dictating the outcome of the All-Star.
Or even if you just had maybe 2 players from each team, guys with some respect and some nice perspective, to fill that role you're talking about.
That's a great point. You pick your leaders from your group, and they cast the vote. Perfect.
That one is off.
Yeah, and really, Mozgov, such a sweet stroke from the free throw line, really feasts off these opportunities.
And he sinks the second. Doris, wearable body tracking, such as sensors that teams use to determine stress load on players' bodies, how much they run during a game, during a practice, how fast they're going. Are we taking this thing too far?
You know, it's an excellent question. Listen, technology is increasing to the point where these teams now have a greater body of information with which to work. So I think just like we see in other areas of the game, analytics relative to team success, what's a good shot, what's a bad shot, the more information, the better. I think it comes down to an organizational decision. How much stress will we put on the information given by these particular body tracking monitors? I think it's got to be on a case-by-case basis. Certainly, the organizations will use it to the best of their abilities.
But if it helps the game, helps the players stay healthy, gives teams a better compass on how to use the players, I'm all for it.
Me too, Kev. Me too.
Here's Whitehead, covered by Wall. And it's Mozgov at the elbow. They set the screen. Over Smith. Pass to Whitehead. Second shot opportunity. Wall with a block.
Twice on the pipes, the anticipation, the athleticism. Terrific job by Wall rejecting that attempt.
On the wing, Porter, guarded by Harris. Here's Wall. Second shot opportunity. Excellent D there from Mozgov.
He's trying to make something happen, but obviously been a tough quarter.
Picked by Mozgov. Hollis Jefferson, good. Hollis Jefferson's got 6 here in this quarter.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
Outside, Porter. And All-Star Week, a fan favorite certainly. But Doris, I've heard you say on more than one occasion you'd love to see a 3-on-3 competition.
Kevin, I think if you're trying to learn the game of basketball, putting yourself in a situation to play 3-on-3 is one of the greatest ways you can develop your game. One, it teaches you how to pass and cut, right? You cannot be effective in a 3-on-3 game unless you understand how to screen for somebody, how to set yourself up to come off of a screen. It's the shorter dynamic of the 3-on-3 in a half-court environment is one of the best ways to learn how to play the game of basketball.
I love that analysis. That's terrific.
I mean, if the defender is going to play off like that, then you know what's going to happen. There are going to be points put on the board.
Hollis Jefferson passes to Whitehead, kicks it to Stauskas, releases from 15, rebounded by the Wizards. Now the pass to Satoransky. He doesn't hit that one, and Brooklyn will now go the other way with it. One thing we've seen from these guys is excellent passing.
No doubt about it. It's fun to watch the way they're operating as a team right now. They are all in sync.
No good on the free throw. Hey, Doris, on the subject of league expansion, Commissioner Silver has said that 30 teams feels about right at this point. How long do you think it's going to be before we add another franchise or two to the NBA.
Right. Let me just say that I completely concur with Commissioner Silver. The last thing we want to see when the NBA is at its peak in popularity is expansion that might dilute some of the competitiveness that we want to see happen. The bigger question right now is these super team issues. Are we at a point where there is such disparity between the best teams in the league and the worst? Let's address that first, and then we can look at expansion down the road.
So you do not like the super team aspect that we're beginning to see formulate from time to time?
I don't necessarily want to say that. I think the jury is still out, Kevin. We have to see how the next 2 or 3 years plays out as it relates to both Cleveland and Golden State. I think there was a period in the 80s where it felt like it was the Lakers and the Celtics every year. Let's not overreact, but certainly let's not add teams before we make sure we are where we need to be from competitiveness standpoint.
Pass to Hollis Jefferson. Here's Whitehead, covered by Wall. Passes to Hollis Jefferson. Here's Whitehead. The Nets need to get a shot off here. Misses the three. Washington's gotten just 1 of 4 3-pointers to go down for them here in the fourth. Here's Satoransky, the 11-footer, and it's Smith missing.
And defensively, moving his feet there, staying right on top of the shooter.
What a great job contesting without fouling. Exactly how you want to defend the mid-range shot.
Another bucket down low. They've been the aggressors, taking the ball inside and attacking at the rim.
And Smith with the stuff.
How easy does John Wall make it on his teammates? Just a terrific setup.
Brooklyn's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. They set the pick. Whitehead passes to Hollis Jefferson. Inside and out of bounds as Brooklyn gains possession.
Ouch, that's a wasted possession. Got to shake it off and forget it happened, guys.
Okafor's checked in for Hollis Jefferson. The Wizards also changing it up. Mike Scott's checked in for Otto Porter Jr. and Tim Frazier's subbed in for John Wall. They're making this a runaway.
And the only question for me right now is just how big the lead will eventually become.
Here's Whitehead. Harris dishes to Allen. Back to Harris. The feed to Stauskas. And again, no good by Brooklyn. The Wizards shooting 31%, not looking sharp offensively to say the least. Pass to McCullough. Scott against Harris. Screen by Smith. Frazier left side. And he gets it back. And they'll turn it over. Could not get off a shot. 24-second violation. Oubre's checked in for Washington. And for Brooklyn, their shooting in the fourth quarter has looked shabby, 38%. Allen, a screen on Frazier. Whitehead passes to Allen. Here's Whitehead, covered by Smith. Harris kicks to Stauskas. Basket is good. The assist from Harris.
Yeah, that's the third bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Dishes it to Frazier. Outside, Scott takes a three. Washington gets it back, and a new 24. They are enjoying the commanding lead.
And it really gives them the opportunity to give their starters a rest. Always critical when you get ready for that home stretch.
Wizards making a switch here. Mahimi's checked in. And Brooklyn has possession. Stauskas, the pass to Whitehead. And it's Brooklyn scoring again.
And you can see there the defender gets caught up on the pick.
Well, you simply got to push through that, right? You need to at least contest the shot. Otherwise, he's going to knock it down.
Frazier kicks to Oubre. And he uses the glass on the layup.
You see the athleticism and the length. Oubre able to get his shot off inside. That's a high percentage look for that young man.
Harris outside. There's the pass to Whitehead. Here's Okafor. Rebound by Mahimi. Mahimi's got 13 rebounds in the game. Class eating. The shot by Frazier, no good. Brooklyn's gone 0-3 so far in the fourth quarter from long range. And Okafor has it in the corner.
Well, guys, this was never really a contest, just a total obliteration, if you will. And you can safely say mission accomplished now for the Nets.
You don't see this kind of a blowout often, but tonight this is a quality win across the board to deliver out this kind of punishment.
They definitely never changed the approach. They just kept after it and showed they were clearly the better team in just about every single category.
And it'll advance their win total up to 12 on the season.
And after dropping game one in this matchup, they managed to take the second of a 3-game season series. No question, that's a morale booster.
And so many times we see someone step up and take charge. And tonight that happened here. It was a nice performance for Timofey Mozgov.
Boy, I thought his best work was his pursuit of the basketball. He competed for every rebound, fought for position in the paint, and never stopped working. I love it.
Oubre, no one around him. Off the mark and a bad shot there. And Brooklyn has possession. Picked by Okafor. Dinwiddie dishes to Carroll. He feeds it to Okafor. Shoots over Scott. Another miss by Okafor. 3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. Now here's Oubre. Carroll covering. Frazier kicks to Mahimi. And Allen with the block. Here's Dinwiddie. And so it's Brooklyn easily grabbing this one. This game may not have been the most exciting we've ever seen, but you have to appreciate just what a clinical performance they put on.
I know their fans appreciated it, and we saw at times just stretches of excellent defense. Potency from an offensive standpoint as well. They were pretty much dominant.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. With Jeremy Lin. Impressive team win tonight. What were your thoughts?
I thought it was a great effort, 1 through 15. Everybody just coming out with high energy and playing team basketball.
Ball got going and it led to a big win, Jeremy. Thank you. Kevin, back to you.
David, thank you as always. And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our terrific 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.